Standing at the top of the school's achievements with perfect scores, I automatically became the best student in school. Hello, I'm Roxy. Do you know what I had to go through to become the highest achieving student? First, please like and subscribe to the channel to watch out for more of our content. Back to reality. Contrary to what many people think, I'm just a student with only average academic achievements. Always trying to do all kinds of tricks to achieve high scores in my studies. I cheat professionally to the point that almost no one noticed. I've always been proud of this ability myself. But the only person who knows that I'm cheating is my childhood best friend, Lim. She's like the opposite of me, hardworking and always trying her best. She's also the highest achieving student in the school. Oh, how in the world can someone be so hardworking?
Well, I don't even know how many times this has been, Roxy. If you don't really study seriously, one day your cheating will be discovered.
I tried so hard, but that pile of confusing knowledge is really not suitable for people like me. Wouldn't it be more effective to spend time going to work instead?
Oh my god, no! The aptitude test is coming up. And then there's the level transfer exam. There's not much time left. If I tell your family about this, you'll die, Roxy.
No, please. I will study seriously. It's just that my part-time job is taking up a lot of time these days, so I can't focus on studying. Please don't tell my parents. They'll kill me.
I'm just kidding. But you have to remember to really take your studies seriously, and you'll just have to gradually quit your part-time job. The upcoming test is to evaluate your ability, and I don't want to see you cheating again. If you continue to do that, I will tell your family.
I just laughed it off and didn't think much of Lim's words. Actually, telling me to quit work to focus on studying is very difficult. Thinking about the remuneration that my part-time job pays has made me hesitate a lot. Never mind. I can study and work at the same time. On top of that, today is also a work day. Oh my god, this is the 4th time I've been late to work this month. The manager there told me that if I'm late this time, I'll definitely be fired. I'll probably put aside studying for later. Most of all, it's not too late to study later. But suddenly, dark clouds appeared in the sky. It rained heavily, and thunder and lightning rang out, making me worried. I did not expect it, so I didn't bring an umbrella. Lim was busy, so she left earlier and my phone was dead. So I didn't know who to ask for help. It's raining harder and harder, and was I just going to sit here and get fired? Of course not. I ran as fast as I could in the heavy rain, despite my body being completely wet and the surrounding vehicles continuously blaring warning sirens. I just ignored the surroundings and ran as fast as I could. The rain became heavier and the sound of thunder and lightning became louder and louder, making me scared. Suddenly, there was a ray of light from above that flashed. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it seemed to be lightning. It hit me, made me unconscious immediately. Oh, my head. My head hurts. What's going on? Where am I? Why am I in the hospital? Oh my god, my manager will definitely kill me. The door opened, and from outside, Lim and my family rushed into my hospital room and hugged me. Seeing their expressions, everyone must have been very worried. Lim told me that I had been struck by lightning, and that I was really lucky to have survived without any serious harm. I was discharged from the hospital by the doctor and returned home after recovering. But a short time later, my head constantly felt sore, and sometimes had severe headaches. Some strange voices appeared in my head, making me confused. But I still reassured myself. I think it's just because I was overthinking. One night when I went to sleep, I had a strange voice that appeared in my dream.
Roxy, you are the one chosen to possess it.
is that? What does it mean to be chosen?
You will know soon. The ability has its limits. Remember my words.
I suddenly woke up from a strange dream. Coincidentally, it was already morning. I was startled to realize that today, there was an unexpected test in class for which I had not prepared anything. I immediately ran out of the house and raced all the way to school. When I got to the classroom, everyone was taking the test and Lim looked at me with fierce eyes. I smiled slightly and winked at Lim, then sat right at the exam table. The teacher gave me the test paper, and when I picked up the paper, my head was blank. I scratched my head and looked at the next table to see my classmates were all very focused. I had thought of copying the test of the person next to me.
Roxy, focus on your test. I won't remind you too many times.
I could only sigh helplessly as I sat watching everyone do their test while I had no knowledge in my head. Suddenly, I thought about the strange dream I had yesterday. Then, I focused on looking at the person next to me, when suddenly, the voice of the friend next to me rang out in my head. I unconsciously stood up and shouted loudly, Wow, that's enough. That's scary.
Roxy, what are you doing? The whole class is concentrating on the test. Do you know that what you're doing is affecting everyone? I need you to focus on your paper or I will give you a 0.
Wow, what just happened? Did I just read the mind of the guy next to me? Wait, was yesterday's dream about... So I have superpowers? So what if I use my ability to... cheat? I tried focusing on Lim.
This part seems difficult. It's okay. I've studied it carefully.
It worked! I can read people's minds! I can't believe after that day, I accidentally had the superpower of reading minds. Wait, in the dream, that strange voice said that I was the chosen one. But never mind. There was probably no problem. From that day on, I used my mind-reading superpowers to cheat, and in the exams that followed, Lim and I always achieved perfect scores. Even Lim was very surprised and proud of me because of the sudden change in my academic achievements. On the outside, I looked very happy, but inside, I was always afraid that I would be discovered as a cheater. I didn't care too much, and still ignored it and used my superpowers in a way haphazardly, until one day...
Hello, Roxy. Have you thoroughly reviewed your knowledge to prepare for today's exam? I admit that the exam type is getting more and more difficult. I've been studying forever, but I'm still not getting anywhere.
Don't worry if Lim can do it. I'll be fine too.
What do you mean?
Oh, no, it's nothing. I think everything will be fine.
Okay.
Phew, I just made myself suspect by Lim. I should be more careful. And whatever comes must come. I realized that I was too subjective without ever thinking. Will one day I lose my superpowers? That day was the final exam. Just like every other exam, I continued to read Lim's mind. But this time, things didn't go as I expected. At that time, the test time had already started, and I tried reading Lim's mind, but no matter how hard I tried, I still couldn't read anything. This is strange. Why can't I read anything? Oh, God, my power! Do something! Wow, that day I left the paper completely blank. Lim was wondering if it was something bad that had happened to me. I just tried to smile, but inside I was gradually becoming worried. Does this power still exist? That strange voice kept echoing in my head, making me angry. I tried reading other people's minds and discovered that the power still existed. It was just weakening very quickly. I think I should tell Lim the truth. Lim, I have something to tell you. It may not be trustworthy, but trust me. Actually, I have the ability to read other people's thoughts.
God, I think you've studied too much and your brain is having problems. You should go home and rest.
Serious. I'm not kidding. I use my powers to cheat, and I read your mind to help me score high on every test.
I don't believe it. You really have a problem. So, if you have a superpower, prove it. What am I thinking? It's definitely just an exaggeration. She really needs to rest.
It's definitely just an exaggeration. She really needs to rest, right? Because Lim didn't believe it, I kept proving it to her over and over again. It's true, suddenly having superpowers is a myth. I told Lim the whole story.
I was suspicious from the beginning, but I didn't think you could cheat this way. I must have gone crazy. Superpowers? Oh my god, that's been it ever since. But never mind, it's already happened. So, how do you want to handle the transfer exam? Okay, I'll help you with all my might. I won't be lenient. In return, you have to put in all your effort to study.
And that was the hellish week of my life. I had a bunch of knowledge drilled into my head by Lim. Lim is truly a monster. She can balance her studies while helping me with any problems as if she were a machine. It's scary. Sometimes I want to cheat with superpowers, but to achieve results, I need to use my own strength. The day finally came, the day of the transfer exam. I was very scared, but my anxiety was somewhat relieved because Lim showed me all the tips she had. But because time was quite urgent, so I'm quite afraid that I won't be able to do it. As the exam started, I used all my remaining neurons, concentrating as much as I could to complete the exam. It was finally over. After a week had passed, Lim and I waited for the results. The result notice was handed to me. Lim and I held our breaths as we opened it. And finally, we both passed. At that moment, I burst into tears, truly very lucky because I used my own abilities to achieve my desire to go to university.